Hey everybody, it's Justin here, aka Demonic Sweaters. And in case you're wondering why my screen looks so weird here, it's because I'm actually using Linux again. It's been a while since I've done this, but I don't know, last night I was trying to record a tutorial, screen tutorial, and one of the things that's great about Linux, I'm kind of going off topic here, but it's very easy to do stuff like this because of all the connection options you have within Linux, but I'll just leave it at that for now. And get to the topic at hand here. The topic at hand is actually, it was a requested video, and unfortunately I can't remember who requested it. It was a while ago, and I can't even remember which video it was commented on, but somebody had asked me how I come up, or how a person can come up with new parts to drums that feel fresh, or new parts for drums that feel fresh and not to get stuck playing the same thing over and over again. And I thought this was a good topic, and figured I would just talk about it a little bit here. So really, that question actually brings up a few different things. Because number one, you have to consider what kind of music you're playing to. Some music, unfortunately, it's pretty normal for the drum parts to kind of be the same all the time. If you listen to a lot of pop and rock music, it's not like there's a lot of revolutionary, super interesting drum parts going on to all of that music all the time. A lot of times the vocals and the song structure and all of that takes precedent, and the drummer's job is just basically to keep time and to, hold down the fort. That being said, if that's boring for you, which it is for me a lot of times, you can challenge yourself in a lot of ways by kind of branching out into new types of music. Prog rock, metal, those genres have a lot of advanced drum parts. Prog rock uses a lot of, odd time signatures and things like that, where you can really get creative. At least me personally, that's one of my favorite types of drumming to do, is drumming that incorporates odd time signatures. And you have to, consider who you're playing with. Maybe they're not as advanced as you would like, or maybe they're playing music that, you don't find to be super interesting. I don't know. Or maybe you're making your own music. So the genre has a lot to do with what you're playing. Or at least it does for me. Another thing, too, is, one approach I took, I actually only did this one time, but I did do this. There was an album that I released in the past called Polybius that came out, I think, in 2017. And on that particular album, I went and programmed all of my drum parts via MIDI first. So I didn't actually sit down and come up with drum parts, behind the kit. I came up with them behind the keyboard on the computer. And what was interesting about that is I was coming up with stuff that I don't normally play at all. And in fact, when I went to actually play them on the drums, it was quite challenging for some of those parts, especially if you listen to the title track, Polybius. There are some fills on there that, I still struggle with playing, even though I pulled them off on that album. But there's a couple of fills on that song where I just, they're very weird, and the timing is just very strange, but, I somehow managed to do it. And I think another one that has some really cool fills, and at least in my opinion, is Dev Null. That one, there's a fill towards the end of the song that is like this triplet. Sorry, my alarm went off. It's like this triplet type thing between the toms and the snare and the kick drum. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, I programmed all these drum parts via MIDI, and it just made me come up with stuff in ways that I don't normally come up with. Did that make sense? So anyway, that's one approach, using MIDI or using computer programs to come up with your drum parts and then try to learn them afterwards. Another approach, one thing that I find helpful too, is learning other people's songs. Because since I'm a drum instructor, and I learn a lot of songs that I would never think to learn on my own. Like I have an insanely large library of K-pop songs that I know how to play. And honestly, I've grown to really appreciate that genre because of this. And I think there's a lot, like, there's hardly any real drummers in K-pop. Most of it's programmed beats. But I will say that for, as a pop genre, K-pop has a lot more interesting rhythms than a lot of Western pop does. So there's a lot of cool stuff to learn in there, and they're not super difficult, a lot of them, but they're just really kind of fresh sounding beats. And playing that stuff on the drums is actually a lot of fun. And I think that has given me a lot of new ideas as well, like, because I have to learn these songs and teach them to my students. Well, I don't have to, but they like it, so I do. But yeah, so learning new stuff, stepping outside of your comfort zone. There's a lot of, stuff online. You can download, PDFs of, songs and learn them. If you don't read music, I highly recommend learning how to read drum music. It is actually not that hard. I know that before I read music, before I knew how to read music, I used to think it was like this really difficult thing. But especially for drums, it's not nearly as difficult as you might think, because you don't have to worry about pitch, as in you don't have to worry about keys, like that type of thing, which is probably the most difficult thing about reading music. All you have to do is, basically know which drum is which on which part of the staff or the lines. And then, once you understand the way that the rhythm of the notes work, it's actually pretty easy to read. It's not like you'll be sight reading instantly, but, if you stick with it, you could be sight reading, within a year, I would imagine, or less if you really try. I mean, I have students that pick it up very quickly. So, anyway, yeah, I think those are my tips. If I think of anything else, I'll post it in the comments rather. And what do you think? Do you have any tips for, not getting stuck while playing the drums? You can post it down below. And thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my record label, anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. I have a lot of stuff on there and been trying to push it lately. So if you really want to support this channel, you can subscribe there. Actually, there's a few ways you could do it. You could become a subscriber at Anthill Recordings. I forget what the monthly cost is. It's not very much. Or you can buy the entire library for like $30, and that will give you a ton of music. So definitely check that out. And thanks for watching. Later.